Good evening and welcome to Front Row Racing World Championship Round 17 at Mexico. Yes, you'll be wondering where's Steve Sher, but he doesn't like the Mexican food, so he's went somewhere else. So
he's had a few Mexican burritos and he's not well.
So I am Rachel Brooks, known as Front Row Racing IR. We have James-HULKENBERG next to me, as aka James-HULKENBERG. Hello James, how are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, and I believe we've also got another special guest in the commentary box with us.
Yes, we have Edam Hills down in the pit lane, also known as Front Row Racing NW. How you doing, Edam Hills?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. Look forward to the race. Should be an interesting first corner.
Yeah, definitely. It's as spicy as it was in real life in Russia, and it's going to be a good one.
And I'll just go over the standings, the race results, from last week. After penalties and that, this was order of the results. First place was Front Row Racing DP, second was Jamie James 16, third Temp Fear, fourth was Overdye King, fifth was Bartman 2112, sixth was Conzo 1993, seventh was a reserve, I can't remember, RMS Maranello. 8th was GT5 King 786, 9th was Dan Eves, 10th was Joe Finn, 11th was Yasin, 12th was It's Hammer Time 44, 13th was Killer Corkin, and 14th was Monet. Driver of the day was Overdye King. He qualified 11 and he finished 4th. He gained 7 places in the race to bring himself up to the 4th place. Team of the day, up the line to Guru Frare. Well, Frare. Because both of them gained places and it was an important result for Team Up the Line to keep fighting for the constructors' standings, with both drivers gaining places from their qualified position. So that was that from last week.
Yeah, no, it's looking good for them. I mean, if they continue on the way they are doing, they'll be able to retain that Ferrari for next season, which is, I know, will be their ultimate gain for this, ultimate goal for this season is retaining that Ferrari, because we do know, we have heard that the Man and Marussia boys, they're not too happy about getting overtaken in the pits, so they're wanting one of the front running cars for the next season. And who knows, they could pick Ferrari, but if the Ferrari boys keep going the way they are doing, I'm pretty sure they're going to retain the seats next season.
Yeah, and we'll do the Drivers' Championship standings from up to date. Its first position is Temp Fear. He's 249 points. Then in second place is Front Row Racing DP with 231 points. Third place is Kev 187. He's got 200 points. Then you've got Jamie James in fourth with 185 points. And then you've got fifth Overdye King with 174. Sixth is Conzo and he's got 91 points. Seventh is GT5 King and he's got 83 points. Eighth is Bartman 2112 and he's got 78. Yep. It's Hammer Time 44. He's got 64 points. Dan Eves has 42 points and he's sitting in 10th. 11th is Killer Corkin. He's got 25 points. 12th is Yarson and he's got 14 points. 13th is Joel Finn with 12 points, and then at the bottom of the table is Moni with 7 points. So
yeah, there's a fair spread between them drivers. I mean, one half of the table, there's so many points, and I mean, it's obvious the back end of the table hardly any points, but it's just such a drastic difference. I mean, the difference between, especially the Mercedes-Benz boys, it is completely on another planet. Danev's running in round 17, 44 points. I don't mean to rub it in, but 10th year's leading the championship, and how big is that gap now?
240. Well, no, 200 and. Oh.
I'm sorry, have I put you on the spot, Ray?
Yeah. 207.
Sorry, I should have been listening earlier. Oh, so it is a fair whack of a gap. That's like 8 race wins.
Yeah, and then
that's just mind-boggling. At least the one thing that's helping the Ferrari boys is they're both consistent. They're both constantly cracking in them points, and that's what's probably going to get them as high up as they need to be in the constructors.
Yeah, and I'll just go into constructors now that you've mentioned it. In first place we have Mod Red, Mana Marusha, and that is Front Row Racing DP and Kev 187, but Kev isn't racing, so we've got RMS Maranello 55 in place as a reserve, so they've got 437 points. And then in second place we've got Up the Line Ferrari. I'm Scottish, I ain't saying that.
Scuderia.
And in that car, with 359 points, we have Jamie James and Overdrive King. And then in third place, we have Flaming Dragons Mercedes. And if I find them on screen, there we go. They have 291 points, and the team there is Temp Fear and Danevs. And then in fourth place we have the Red Bull guys, Rising Lads. And I'll keep going past them. And in that team we have, well, the points are 282, so it's a bit close between Red Bulls and Mercedes. And we have Batman 212 and It's Hammer Time 44. And then in fifth place we have Team Freedom, McLaren Honda. And it's 174 points, and the drivers are GT5 King and Konzo. And in sixth place we have Sin Song Racing Williams, and they're on 49 points, and their drivers are Killer Corkin and Yasin. And then that brings us to the seventh place team, which is Landmark Racing Sauber, and they've got 19 points, and its team drivers are Money and Joe Finn. And we'll go to track.
Yeah, it looks like well, you got it all in there, but from just listening to that, the constructors, it seems to me like it's going to be a tall order. But if the Ferrari boys get a 1-2 in the last 3 races, and the Mana Marushas end up completely screwing up, highly unlikely, but the Ferraris could win the constructor still.
Oh, and now it's time for qualifying at round 17 Mexico World Championship Front Row Racing. I've just done that back to front. And
could my eyes have just deceived me? But did I see a splash of rain on the helicopter cam there? Or maybe I'm just seeing things. Probably am. But
yes.
Yeah, it just looked for a second there was a splash of rain. I can't see anything from the garage.
No, cloudy start with potential for showers later.
There's rain on circuit. I'm looking at the pit lane, and there is a few blobs of rain. So if the guys want to get out and get a quali lap, now will be the fastest point of the circuit, when the circuit is the most driest. Get out now and get a lap in, and that's exactly what the Ferrari boys are doing. We've got Overdyking, keep messing about. He's straight out on circuit.
Yes, and he's got the option tyres, so he's going for it straight away. away.
It's jumped though to primes at the pit exit, so a bit of a glitch there on the game, but I would have gone straight to the options. This is probably going to be the driest the circuit's going to be during qualifying, unless it's a quick shower that just passes. I think this may be the driest conditions, the best conditions to get your pole lap in.
Yeah, and while we're on Overdyking, Adam, is pre-race comments from Overdyking?
Yeah, got just a little bit a while ago. He's saying, I should have won this race last season, so I've got something to set straight this season. Ferrari are looking to finish on a high form that we had at the start of the season. Also need to make sure I get past James in the standings to confirm my #1 driver status within the team. So he's setting a challenge to his teammate.
Well, it's close between them two boys, and we do know that they're not in it. Well, Overdyking has ruled himself out of the title this year, so he's set his sights a little bit more realistic, and they are his teammates. So are we going to see hell for leather between them two? Is the team going to end up giving team orders? Because the last thing that the team wants is for them to throw the Constructors' title away.
Yeah, that's the last thing they need to do, isn't it? Get caught up in a battle and take each other out.
Exactly. Overdyking down into turn 1, a lot of rear locking. That's not helped his position through turn 3 and 4. He's just heading on towards turn 5, I believe. Maybe I'm incorrect. And this is a very low speed corner. This is where we saw Kimi Räikkönen and Valtteri Bottas get entangled up last year. That was a position which was always going to end up with a collision. And yeah, Overdyking, he's not looking 100% here. Looks like he's gone for a very low downforce setup, and that is not helping with these prime tyres. But he's probably thinking about the long game, trying to do what he did last week in the USA and run long in the first stint.
Yeah, and do you think he'll get through this sector without any rear end sliding with the water? It's coming down more.
Yeah, well, it's going to continue getting worse and worse, so this is probably going to be one of his best laps. And here we go, he's running straight to the line, making a shorter line, and that's at 118.2. And let's see what other people are doing. DP, he's gone second, so Overdyking set pole position so far on a set of primes, and Bartman's just beat DP. So these times are going to, I don't think they're going to tumble. I think they're going to get worse and worse.
Yeah, I'm just
Danev's just coming round the final corner. I'll just see what time he puts in.
I think his has been invalidated.
Oh. Jamie James on his options going round, but has he left it too late? Just coming into that final sector. Try not to brake too late. Last thing you wanted to get marooned on a sausage curb. These cars don't work very well over sausage curbs. Oh, rear end squirming away, and he's going for it. What is this lap time going to be? 118.7, it's 10th, and that's on options. Overdyking, he may have absolutely pulled another one out of the bag. He did it in China with wet weather conditions, and no, I've got news for you. 10th here, we've completely missed it. 10th here's gone and jumped in front of Overdyking, and so has RMS Maranello. So the times are coming down, but it's whether these tyres, whether with this wet conditions, whether they can heat up them tyres in order to give them enough grip.
Yeah, I'm just on board with Killer Corkin. He's sitting at 12th position, but I think his time's been invalidated, so we'll move on to the next person because these lap times stop going. Oh, somebody returning to track, whether it just caught him out or not.
Ooh, Jamie James, he's just run a bit wide and he's just had his lap invalidated.
So we get 10th here going in the pits, RMS Maranello.
Jason's throwing time away. He's jumped on a set of intermediates. He thinks it's too wet. I think that's a bit too early for intermediates, but as soon as you stick on them intermediates, you're going to be running at least 5 seconds slower than the slick tyres. tempt fear. Is that pole already done and dusted?
Oh, Jason's coming in the pits. He's not going to complete a lap.
The one thing that's impressive for me is that Overdijking set his lap time on a set of primes in P3. As he set that at the absolute optimal time for a set of primes, he can start the race in P3 on a set of primes and run as long as he wants.
We've got Danny's up at 8th. I think he's run out of fuel.
Aye.
Adam, did Dan Neves have anything to say when you tried to catch up with him?
No, no comment from Dan Evs, which was a bit of a shame because it would be nice to hear his opinion on the race, but you never know, he might pull something out of the bag today.
And Jamie James, once again, he is struggling now. Oh, his lap time did stop. I thought he'd gone over a white line. He's in the final sector. Is this going to improve himself from 11th place? He needs to find something, but as he left it too late, them lap times when he needed to put him in the most, he went over the white lines and they were the driest conditions. What is this lap going to give him?
6.
6. So it's a 118.7 for Jamie James.
And did Jamie James have any comments, Adam?
Yeah, caught up with Jamie James in the on the track, and basically saying he's going to try and avoid penalties like the plague and survive turn 1, see what happens from there. And turn 1 will be a tricky corner for everyone, especially if the conditions are a bit wet. It's going to cause havoc for everyone on the grid.
And currently Overdijking is sat in the pits. I think he knows there's no point in bombing round anymore. You're not going to improve time with an ever increasingly wet circuit. He's just going to sit there and think, well, I've done my job. The only thing he'll be waiting for is if this shower blows over and we get a couple of laps of dry running at the end.
Oh, GT5 King, he's just showing how slidey it is. He's tried to take turn 1 and he's just went over the grass onto the safety area. Adam is GT5 King. Did you manage to catch up with him?
Yeah, I spoke to GT5 King just before he pops into his car. He says he's at least 2 to 3 seconds lap faster than last year, but given the weather I'm sure that probably be less. But his practice has been going well for him, and he's opened a good result for himself and the team.
Right, well, DP is just heading over the line. He's about to start a lap. And here we go. I don't think he's going to be able to improve this lap time, but he must think that there's enough grip out there. Still on the option tyre. He will go heading into turn 1. Braking at the 110 metre mark. He's braking early. He's knowing that there's not enough grip out there. Just ginger on power, not wanting to get on the AstroTurf because that is just a sponge full of water, and once you get on there, there is no traction whatsoever. Now heading down into this very slow speed, 90 degree turns. Oh, rear end is stepping out. This car is not wanting to handle these conditions. I think at this moment in time it is turning towards the intermediate tyre, and these options have definitely starting to run out of grip. Oh, just almost running wide there for DP, heading back into this stadium section now. Is he braking early? He is. At least 10 metres not earlier than he normally would. This is very, very ginger driving from DP, not wanting to spin it, but unfortunately there is no chance he'll be going any quicker. Unless no, he's in the pits, he knows it. That is game over. This could be exactly the positions. We've got Temp Fear in P1 at the moment on a 117.6, RMS Maranello on a 117.9, Overdijking with an absolutely incredible lap, first guy out there on a set of primes setting a 118.277, Bartman setting exactly the same lap time. That is absolutely incredible. That is mental, but because Overdijking was the first one over the line, Bartman slotted into 4th. Then we've got DP less than a 10th behind in 5th place. It's very, very close down there. Then we've got a jump of about 4/10 back to Jamie James, who unfortunately he just kept making mistakes in them first few laps, and then when he made it count, the circuit was too wet, and that was a second down the drain for Jamie James. GT5 King in 7th place on a 118.9. Konzo in P8 on a 118.9, so very close between the McLaren boys. Then we've got Dan Eves down in 9th place, and that's a 119.8. That is that's a fair way off. That's another second back from P8. Then we've got Mornay on a 121. That's even further back. Duofin, and he's on a 124.0, so I'm thinking Duofin is either waited way too late or he's not had a lot of practice.
Yeah.
Interestingly, we've got Jason, Killer Corkin and Hammer Time. I mean, Killer Corkin has gone out, but I think his lap time's been invalidated. Hammer Time and Jason have also not gone out and set a lap time, but Jason currently is behind us in the commentary box, technically speaking, because he also hasn't been out of the pit box. What would be helpful for him is if he just went round, set a few sectors and came back into the pit lane. He will not then have to start behind us, but when will the learn, Ray?
Yarson has got a qualifying ban for the event.
Alright, okay, so in that case, yeah, it's a tough one when somebody's got a quality ban and it automatically puts it behind the commentators. It is a bit of a pain, that. There's always that added risk of the spectators, unfortunately, causing a collision, but that's why it's always best to try and keep a clean race, try and keep out of anybody's wings and side pods, and make sure you don't get a quali ban for the next race, because number one, you'll be starting at the back, and then again the game can always start you behind the commentators, which is even more annoying for the drivers. But yeah, it's full on intermediate conditions now, if not wet. DP's out there, he's on the intermediates, and he's even struggling on them tyres, so definitely struggling conditions out there. And Obadiah King, I've got to say, he was the man of qualifying, going out on a set of primes and sticking it on 3rd place, first guy out there.
Yeah, it's just a shame the other two put on the options and went in front of him. Yeah, do you think he'll be killing himself with that, going on the primes?
No, I don't think he'll be killing himself. I think he'll be really happy with sitting in P3, knowing for a fact he's going to run really long on them prime tyres in the opening stint. If he can have a clean run down into turn 1, even if he's sitting in P3 at the end of lap 1, he'll be extremely happy just knowing he's going to run longer than 10th Fear and Maranello.
I'm just looking at the skies, it doesn't seem to be clearing up too much. There's a little bit lighter, but not much. We've got, what, 4 minutes remaining. The guys are out in intermediates. Adam, you want to give any post-race comments from the drivers we've not heard from? And we'll get them done.
Yeah, I'll give some pre-race comments, because I don't know what the post-comments will be.
Sorry. I'm back to front. I told you I'm back to front tonight.
Got Konzo saying for me, between now and the end of the season, I'm aiming to fighting for a podium. At this track, just getting a valid lap in will be the trouble in the qualifying. So I plan to go on a slow lap to start, then push. But going on that, I don't think anyone expected this sort of weather. So it's going to chuck everything up in the air for all drivers.
Yeah, it's definitely backfired for those that have practiced, and majority of drivers will practice in dry conditions. I don't know a huge amount of drivers that will practice in wet conditions, just because the setup you take into the race is usually going to be a dry setup, so usually you just run the dry setup as long as you can, and when it starts raining you just have to deal with it.
Okay. On you go, Adam.
Yeah, okay, got Hammer Time. First off, he's saying I'll try my best. I seem to have good pace now. I've got used to the wheel, so that's good that he's changed from controller to wheel. He's been practicing his race starts, has been causing a few incidents in the last 2 races. He seems to have now had the gap to the leaders from 2.5 seconds to 1.4.
Oh, we've had a disconnection, unfortunately. I think it says Konzo has left the session and his car's parked up at the end at the final corner. Is this disaster for McLaren?
Oh, it could be.
He's got 2 minutes. Can he get back into this race session? At least if it's a wet race, the setup will not hinder him.
Yep, and Maranello's retired. Any more pre-race comments, Adam?
Yeah, we got Front Row Racing DP. He's saying no idea how the race will go because of the run into turn 1. Could break many people's races. Need to make sure I don't burn up the front tyres. Tyre wear could choose how this race goes. But I'm feeling if you're starting at the back and the weather's like this with a long run, it might be beneficial to start maybe midfield. Those on like pole, second and third on the grid is going to be worried about the first corner.
Yeah, it's definitely with so much runoff at this circuit. I can see a lot of drivers, just like in Russia, wanting to brake that much later. And I can see there being a bit of carnage down into turn 1 because it's such a long straight down into a heavy braking zone. I can see a lot of drivers either having ultimate joy of making up a few places or ultimate disaster of losing front wings, punctures, anything.
Yeah, and then you've got turn 2 and 3. The track isn't as wide there for your line through there, so there could be even more. So turn 2 and 3 you need to watch it out as well, because if there's a lot of cars round, you're not going to get 2, never mind 3.
Yeah. So the drivers are just practicing wet conditions, just in case the actual race we do have sprinkling of rain. At least they've got it lodged in the back of the memory how to drive the circuit on intermediate tyres. But there's, unfortunately, this is the times are not going to improve. And Temp Fear, he's set pole position and he's fighting for the title. And the story is DP, unfortunately, he's lost out and he needs to beat Temp Fear. So if anything, DP will be hoping somebody goes for a little sneaky move up the inside of Temp Fear into turn 1.
Do you think DP never came out as quick because he was deciding whether to go halfway on his setup or?
Yeah, it's always a tough one changing setup just before a race. I'd say stick with what you know and run it and rag the wheels off the thing.
And I can hear the pit lane mic going on you go.
Yeah, we've got a comment from Yarson. He's basically racing Mornay because he reckons they're both at the same level. But if the rain's getting involved in the race, I suppose it could level the field a little bit more. Maybe a few surprises at the end of the race.
Yeah, we could see a few surprises and it could bunch the field up. But there we go, Temp Fear and Maranello, they'll be happy to have P1 and 2, but Overdyking, the absolute king of intermediate wet conditions, just when the circuit's changing, he knows which tyres to jump on. He set a 118.2 on a set of primes, and he will be absolutely laughing inside that helmet.
Now in 4th place we've got Batman, 5th place we've got Front Row Racing DP, 6th Jamie James, 7 GT5 King, 8 Konzo if he comes back in, and I won't get to the rest. Sorry.
Oh no, it's this game race, it's too fast.
And I'm talking too slow because but here we go. Round 17 Mexico. World Championship Mexico. Race time. And it's raining. And it looks heavier.
The one thing I've just said is Overdyking would have been laughing, but he would have been laughing thinking it's gonna be a dry start to the race, and unfortunately, them prime tyres are now out of the window. All drivers are going to be starting on intermediate tyres.
Yeah.
So that strategic advantage has just gone out of the window, unfortunately. And we do have a driver behind us, so we will, and unfortunately, Konzo's been unable to get back in his McLaren. Unfortunately, the connection tonight has just not been good enough for him.
Yeah.
Pre-race comments, we've got 5 seconds left. Who's your bet for the win?
Temp Fear.
I'm going to go with Dom.
Dom, right, okay. And I'm going to go with Jamie James.
And away they go. We'll just pull over the side, let Jason through, and then we'll get up to the front as soon as possible. And we've got Batman in first place.
Batman overtaking in P2 and Temp Fear. He's completely lost out, and DP's trying it in P4. Oh, I think it's Maranello. I think I see Maranello down there. But yeah, Batman. Temp Fear's going for a move back on overtaking P2. This is absolutely epic. And Temp Fear, overtaking's just squeezed Temp Fear off circuit. I think overtaking thought he was a little bit further back. Overtaking absolutely not giving enough space, and now we've got the two title rivals, DP and Temp Fear, side by side, and DP's lost out and Johnny James is through. Johnny James, Scuderia Ferrari absolutely jumping up and down, just knowing that they've got both boys in front of both Man and Marushas. This is an absolutely cracking first lap for the Scuderia Ferrari team.
Yeah, and I think it was 4 wide into turn 1, and that's when RMS Maranello got spun.
So here we go, we've got Batman, and I think he's, even though he's made that epic start, overtaking is just eyeing up where he's going to place his car, going to try and snip a move, as Jamie James also sniffs a move on the back of Temp Fear. I think it's going to be too far away for a move this lap as we look further down the field. And who's that? We've got Hammer Time in the wall. He's completely screwed up his first lap. But Batman under pressure from overtaking.
Yeah, and then you've got Temp Fear. He's under pressure by Jamie James. So this could be the Ferrari boys' race.
Yeah, definitely. I can see overtaking. He's looking for a move. He's up the inside of Batman. Oh, this is super close between Batman and overtaking. Oh, Batman just lost the rear end on the curb. Overtaking sniffing. He can smell P1.
And this is letting Temp Fear and Jamie James catch up just that little bit. DP, he seems to have dropped off a wee bit for the back of these guys.
He does seem to have dropped off. Maybe his tyre pressure's not up to temperature at the moment, them tyres, but are we going to see Jamie James looking in the background behind Temp Fear? Oh, he's having a look, he's having a sniff. Temp Fear's gone defensive into the stadium section as Jamie James got this one. Oh, Temp Fear's struggling on traction. I think Jamie James is probably closest one for a look. No, Jamie James had a little bit of a squirm there. I think overtaking's closest to have a look down into turn 1 in the slipstream of Batman. Here we go, down into turn 1 as overtaking got this one. Yes, he has. What a move in damp conditions. Batman trying to fight back, but overtaking absolutely set that one to a T. But Batman's got good traction. Here we go. Overtaking's gone defensive. He's putting his car in the middle of the road. Batman, I don't think in wet conditions it's the move is on round the outside.
He's trying for the switchback into this double
he is trying for the switchback, but overtaking needs to, now he's made this move, he needs to make sure he makes no mistakes and bolts from the field now. He was clearly quicker running behind Batman, and I think he's just starting to pull out the gap as Jamie James. I think Jamie James is chewing the back of Temp Fear's tyres.
Yeah, he doesn't seem as close as what he's been, so he must have lost a wee bit of time in that last lap there.
Yeah, could we see both Ferraris ending up P1 and 2, because I know that Arriva Bene would absolutely love that to happen, but both of them need to get P1 and 2 if they want to take the Constructors' title.
Yeah, now if the two Ferraris get too close, how they're going to do their pit stops? They're going to leave one out.
Oh, I think it's always lead driver has the save who pits. If you just
JAMES is quite close to 10th fear through turn 2 and 3. I think he's Batman's going for a move.
Just let the Williams boys know, Williams fans out there, unfortunately Jason has lost his front wing.
Oh, they're starting to struggle. There's more rear sliding in these cars. Do you think it's getting wetter, or
no, I don't think it's getting wetter. I think it's the just the tyres wearing. There's so much lateral load going through that middle sector, as you can see, constant left, right, high-speed cornering, and that is just a tyre killer. But Overdijking, he's not running away with this like I thought he would do. I think he's pretty much a cork in a bottle now. Now maybe he's just being conservative. So, JAMES having a look round the outside of 10th Fear. He's definitely wanting to get on with this, and this is forcing 10th Fear and Bartman to get a bit of a shift on, which is in turn hurrying up his teammate. And 10th Fear, is he having a look at Bartman? Top line speed is not looking an issue for Overdijking.
Oh, James is going
he's
for
having
it?
a little look. He's just sniffing. He's just trying to get 10th Fear out of position.
Oh, I thought 10th Fear was sliding around turn 2 there.
Yeah, 10th Fear, he's not a mug. He will not just defend fresh air. James is going to have to come up with something special to get past 10th Fear's. Bartman is super close to the back of Overdijking now.
I'm just going to have a wee look down field, keep me updated. Just
I'll have a look at the front part, you have a look down the field. To me it looks like the front 5 or 6 cars are still running decently, and then from P6 backwards it's front wings lost galore.
Yeah, it's a bit spread out further down the field. I can hear Edam Hill's mic going.
Any news from the pit lane?
Yeah, I'm just watching from a racing DP, and I don't know whether he's just keeping back a little bit to stay out of the way of the front 4 fighting for position, or he's actually genuinely struggling.
I think James has got a runny. I think 10th Fear's had a bit of a squirm on exit. I think James is in line for a move here. Is he going to move up to P3? Scuderia Ferrari boys on the edge of their seat as James goes for the move up the inside of 10th Fear. Now he's offline. Can he get it all slowed down? Is 10th Fear going to try it around the outside? No, he is not. There's not enough grip out there, and that makes Scuderia Ferrari P1 and 3 both on in podium positions. Next up for James is Bartman.
Now, will Overdijking slow down Batman a wee bit and let James catch up to pressure him?
It's a risky strategy to start slowing other drivers down to help teammates. It's always risky, because you could end up shooting yourself in the foot and letting your teammate run away with the victory.
I know last year's race was done in the dry, and it was 3 stops. If it's on inters, how many stops do you reckon is going to happen?
I do know that these Inters tyres do go along, but 10th Fear's having a little look back up the inside of James, but James absolutely having none of it. I think Bartman is also just sniffing at the back of Overdijking, but 10th Fear, he's looking like he's got the hurry up from Toto Wolff and saying, you know what, get back in P3. He's looking close. Is this going to be role reversal this time round? I think he's close enough to get in the slipstream, is 10th Fear.
And so is Bartman. Bartman's close enough.
Yeah, Bartman's having a look at Overdijking, but Overdijking's being smart. He's covered the inside. He's blocking that move off. No way through there on Overdijking.
No way through for Jamie James.
No,
Fear.
Jamie James, he's holding up Temp Fear. Bartman is in the slipstream, he's going for the move up the inside for P1. We're going to see Bartman regain the lead. Overdyking giving the cars width and nothing more. Very, very nice defensive driving from Overdyking. But here comes Bartman up the inside. Oh, he's had to cut the corner to make sure there's no collision. No collision's been happening there. He didn't want to cause a collision with Overdyking. He's got too much respect for him.
Yeah, and
he is super close.
And I must say, what we see on is what we'll commentate on. That he might have not cut the corner, he might have just kept his wheels on, but what we see on, we'll commentate on just for viewers and other drivers.
No point in getting all frustrated on team radio listening to the commentators. Get your heads down, boys, and get on with it. That's just what we see.
Further down the field in P8 is RMS Maranello. He's right on the back of position number 7, Dan Evs. And it looks like Dan Evs is struggling a little bit.
Oh yes, you can see him, he's coming.
Bartman's back in the slipstream. Is this straight long enough for Bartman to make a move down into turn 1? We're about to find out. Is he going to have a little cheeky look? No, he's been too conservative down into turn 1. I thought he quite possibly could have
had we've got Dan Evs and Maranello. Side by side, they're coming down into turn 1. RMS Maranello in front. Is he holding it off?
Sorry, I've got to cut you off. Bartman's going for a little look up the inside of Overdyking. Overdyking once again defending that corner beautifully, but Bartman's trying to get him out of position, and Overdyking will not budge. He's making that Ferrari as wide as he can, and that's helping Joey James close him.
So this 2-pack could become a 4-pack. That sounds nice to me.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird how these front 4 are constantly ebbing and flowing. The gaps tighten up, and then before you know it, they're spread out again. And when I say they're spread out, I'm talking about half a second. But Bartman is now under pressure from Jamie James. Jamie James, he can sniff the back of that Red Bull, and he's smelling P2.
Sorry to interrupt. Front Russian DP's in 5th. He's a title contender, but he's at GT5 King 6. He's actually currently catching DP by quite a lot of time.
Right, I think Jamie James in the slipstream is pulling out though. That's very odd. I think if he'd have kept in that slipstream, he could have had a little look up the inside into turn 1.
Yeah,
Jamie James is so much more grip for Jamie James. He's on traction. Has he got enough? If he's going to make the move, he needs to move to the left. He cannot make the move around the outside. Get in that slipstream, Jamie James, and get past. Keeps pulling out. Has he got overheating issues there for Jamie James?
I don't know. And speaking of overheating, I did do a test on Monday.
Bartman's run wide. Bartman's run wide. Jamie James, has he got the look? But now Jamie James is on the outside.
There's a little bit of contact between RMS Maranello and GT5 King. Didn't cause no damage, just they took each other off the track slightly.
Ooh. So fighting ridiculously hard all the way down the field, but these front 4 are actually pulling away from DP. Where is DP on circuit?
He's 5th place.
Oh! Jamie James nearly into the back of Bartman. I think he just braked a wee bit later than Bartman. And
DP doesn't seem to have a lot of grip, and Jamie James, I think, is in the slipstream now, and he will get past Bartman down into turn 1. If he doesn't, I don't think he ever will, because this is as good as you ever want. Here we go. Scuderia Ferrari team, absolutely going absolutely apes in that garage. They're going mental. Arriva Bene is just absolutely kicking the walls down with not with anger, but with absolute
Bartman's coming back.
His 2 Ferrari boys. Bartman's coming back, and Jamie James, unfortunately, Arriva Bene has just looked back at the screen and realised it's back P1 and 3.
What? Bartman had so much traction out that third corner.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be frustrating Jamie James.
Yeah, Jamie James, though, he knows he can run so close behind Bartman in that dirty air, in the wet, and still run a lot tighter lines than Batman is, as you can see. Oh! Just tap the back end. Is Temp Fear going to get through? Jamie James needs to make his Ferrari as wide as possible and close back up in P3.
What's happened to
Overdyking is gone. Oh, this is super close between Overdyking. Overdyking, I think he's trying to slow Batman down, possibly. Or maybe he's just had a mistake, but that's just closed this 4-car battle right up again. This is absolutely brilliant racing. Every single week we see fantastic racing, and every time I say we see fantastic racing, we usually see a crash. But Jamie James needs to get in that slipstream. Is he going to get past Batman? Once again. No, I don't. He's having a look. He's going for it. No. Oh, absolutely on the brakes, just trying to make Batman make a mistake there under braking. And Batman, once again, like you say, the traction on that Red Bull is absolutely epic.
Oh, there's been contact. Damage GT5 King at turn 1. They're both off track.
Thank you. I'll apologise to viewers. I won't be moving from this battle at the moment. It's too good to move. But we'll have Nightwalker updating us on the battles behind, and you can make a wee picture in your head.
Oh, Jamie James just run a touch wide following Batman, but once again just got so much grip. I think Jamie James has gone for a decent bit of downforce. Batman on our screen has gone all 4 wheels off over the white line. Is he going to have to do a lift and coast down into the stadium section?
No, I didn't see him all 4 on mine.
I think Temp Fear is just playing the long game here. He's just thinking, right, I know these boys, they're not quicker than me. I'm keeping pace. But we could see once Jamie James gets past Batman, if he ever does.
Jamie James in the pit lane.
Jamie James and Temp Fear in the pit lane. Are we going to see the the Mercedes boys jump the Ferraris? I think we may do.
Front row racing DP's in the pits.
Jamie James has lost out there. Temp Fear has jumped him in the pit lane, and DP's in as well. Meanwhile, back at the front, we've got. Let's have a look. I think it is still Overdyking. Overdyking still in front of Batman, but we've had the undercut from the Ferrari from behind. So Overdyking, I think we're going to see him back in that pit lane. And DP comes out just in front of It's Hammer Time, so that was crucial for DP's race.
Yeah, so at the moment, Jamie James is the one that's lost out. And
Jamie James lost out heavily in the pit lane. The Ferrari crew were too high on adrenaline to get them wheel nuts ready, and unfortunately he's lost out there.
Or he dropped his nut.
Temp Fear, he's in the best position to do the undercut here. He could overtake Overdyking. Could he regain the lead through the pit stops here for Temp Fear?
You've got GT5 King in 8th and Danny's in 9th.
And we've got both race leader and Batman, Overdyking and Batman in the pit lane. I don't think we're going to see a Red Bull overtake a Ferrari. If we do, that'll be... Oh, we are doing... Batman has beaten the Ferrari team. The Ferrari team absolutely foaming. Arriva Benez just smashed the door down this time.
Temp
but
Fear's coming out past the start-finish line.
Down, and Temp Fear is going to get past. Temp Fear's done the undercut. Has Jamie James done the undercut as well? Yes, he has. He has done over Dyking. Has he done on Batman? Yes, he has! Oh, Jamie James into P2. The undercut absolutely screwed the front 2 drivers. And Overdyking's gone from P1 to P4.
And Temp Fears went from P4 to P1.
Batman having a look up the inside of Jamie James. That Red Bull has got serious grip. He's just lit them tyres up straight out of the pit lane. And now we've got both Ferraris in P3 and 4. Temp Fear and Batman absolutely stole a march on the Ferrari boys and crashed their party.
Yeah, and if that's how the undercut's working, the Ferrari, only one of the Ferrari boys can do the undercut.
Yeah, well, we've seen it. When Overdyking was the lead runner and Jamie James got first dibs and he was running behind. That's completely screwed over Overdijking, and I don't think Overdijking's going to be too happy about what's just happened there.
No, not at all. I wouldn't be either, but look, what's going on? And it
Exactly.
could be how close we are following each other in. I don't know if...
Definitely. But what we've just seen there is Bartman's incredible traction. And Jammy James has got incredible straight line speed, just closing up on the back of Bartman. I think if Bartman's going to overtake, it's going to have to be on the straights, bog Bartman down, and breeze off into the distance. Try and upset his traction and get him out of position.
Yeah, and we're getting news from the pit lane.
Just keeping an eye on the action, and Front Row Racing DP is really struggling in this event, and that's a surprise maybe to some viewers as well. He's 6th place and losing time to the teammate in 5th place, RMS Maranello.
Whoa, this could be the title decider. Temp Fear, if he finishes in the position he is, that is serious points going into his bag to completely destroy DP's hopes of winning the title.
Yeah, I'm just going to see what the points are. You've got Temp Fear on 249 and DP on 231 points. So...
yeah.
I ain't no mathematician, so I'm not... sort it out for yourselves.
I'm pretty sure both Ferraris are going to be getting the hurry up flow from the pit wall, saying... today's the day. If we're going to try and steal a match on the Marussia boys, we need to clearly beat them, and we need to get as many points as we can. Because they're running just behind us now. They're a fair way back on circuit, but they're only 1 or 2 positions behind us now. I think the circuit might possibly be drying up. I'm looking up and I'm seeing the clouds are not as dark as they were at the start of this race. We're on lap 15. In another 3 laps we will be at half distance. I think whoever stops next for slick tyres, whoever gambles for slick tyres if it dries up, will be the absolute master. And we know that Overdijking is a master of choosing tyres at the right time.
Yep. I'm just going to look down the field. I can hear Adam.
Yeah, we've got Dan Evs right on the back of GT5 King. GT5 King's just come a little bit wider. Dan Evs gone into 7th place.
Yeah, I just caught that as you said that. And will GT5 King come back at him?
Yeah,
These two have been having a wee...
I think Dan Evs has gone defensive. He's took it too tight. I think GT5 King's going to have a run here, even before we get to this final corner. Yeah, he's clearly got Dan Evs riled. I think he's got traction up the inside. Clearly got way more grip than Dan Evs, and I think he's going to be coming straight back at him.
As he comes down to turn 1, he's still on the slipstream, he's pulled out. Is he going to be late on the brakes? No, I think he's went back in behind. Yep, that was the camera angle.
Well, I think if he didn't make the move there, that was as good as an opportunity as you would ever ask for. And Temp Fear is now coming up towards a back marker. Is this going to screw him over for Temp Fear? I'm thinking it might possibly be one of the Sauber boys. We are starting to see blue flags, so he's clearly closing in. Yeah, he's one of the Saubers. I'm not too sure which one.
It's Mornay.
So how helpful is Mornay going to be to Temp Fear? Temp Fear needs to come up behind him at a certain part of the track, such as this straight and breeze past. The last thing he wants is to be overtaken in that middle sector.
Yeah, and then if he does get caught up behind you, it's going to bring Batman close up behind him.
What's quite baffling me is Overdijking's pace. He's still in touch, but he's dropping off the back of Jammy James now.
Yeah, I've just seen that in the background, how far he is behind, and
here we go. This is not what Temp Fear wants. He's coming up behind the Sauber, and it's in this tight, twisty section where he'll be losing downforce. A lot of mechanical grip in the slow section as Jamie James just touches the curb, but the last thing he wants is to be overtaking the Sauber in this fast section. And is Bartman going to be able to capitalise? Is Temp Fear going to get bulked down here? Temp Fear is coming right up behind the Sauber, and that Sauber is still not out of the way into the stadium section. Now he's got out of the way. Are the other drivers through? Yes, he realises the leaders are here, and he's got well out of the way. That was helpful for Temp Fear, but Temp Fear's now got a Williams up in front of him that he needs to dispose of, which is Jason.
And it's getting even more blue. So
yeah, it definitely is. I don't think it'll be long soon as we start to see. Oh yeah, and we've seen DRS enabled, so it's definitely getting a lot bluer on circuit. Bartman has got that extra bit of straight line speed now that he was lacking earlier because he's got DRS enabled, and he's right back up behind Temp Fear.
Oh,
Jamie James! Oh no, that is absolutely screwed over for Jamie James, and is he going to lose position here? Is that DP in the background? Is that Maranello?
I think it's Maranello.
Yeah, it's
Maranello.
Like he held up Jamie James.
Back up at the front, we've got Bartman all over the back of Temp Fear. I can't remember what.
All over.
Yeah.
Where is Overdijking? Overdijking's out on slicks. Overdijking's gone for the undercut on slicks already.
So it's Front Row Racing DP. He's on the option tyres.
Oh, and GT5 King's just done him round up the inside. Is this a lap too early for Overdijking?
Yep.
Let's go back to the leaders as Maranello is clawing all over the back of Jamie James now. He's gone wide. Temp Fear, is he going for the pit lane or is he staying out? He's staying out along with Bartman. They think it's too early for slick tyres. Is Jamie James going in? He thinks it's too early. But the rear end of that Ferrari is looking as unstable as a donkey. Oh, Bartman having a look at Temp Fear down into turn 1 with the DRS open. Has he made the move? Is this inspired? Has Temp Fear got this? Oh no, I think Temp Fear's completely lost out. But no, he's coming back on traction. Here he comes. Temp Fear, he's no mug, he's set up the switchback. But now Bartman's up the inside. Is he going to block him off? Temp Fear taking it all the way around the outside. This is fantastic driving. And I think Bartman's coming back. They're both doing the undercut, and every single time they do this, they're just handing time straight away. And Temp Fear's give Bartman a bit of a nudge, saying, "I've had enough of this side-by-side action." And that was the first time I've seen Temp Fear get a bit rude and get his elbows out.
And then we've got Jamie James in third place with RMS Maranello all over the back of him. He's going to his gearbox. If this will give me a...
definitely is. I will see how Overdijking is getting on. I don't think he's gaining time. I think it was a couple of laps too early for Overdijking. Yeah, he seems to be struggling. I think it's still too early for the option tyre as Maranello is all over the back of Jamie James. Clearly got way more grip.
What about Front Row Racing DP? He went on the options as well. Do you think that's handed Temp Fear a little bit of a mental edge there?
Oh, completely, as Maranello goes for the move on Jamie James down the inside into turn 1, and now with DRS enabled, it's just too easy for the moves. Is Jamie James going to be able to do the switchback now? Maranello's compromised. No, the move is made. Maranello into P3, and it's going from bad to worse now for the Ferrari team. And Bartman's jumped back in front of Temp Fear for P1. The traction is helping for the Red Bull team. And Temp Fear, I don't know if he's let him back through because there was a bit of contact at this part of the circuit on the previous lap. But I don't think so. I think Bartman's done him on merit. Oh, Temp Fear's carrying so much more speed.
Yep.
And down into the stadium section now, what is Temp Fear going to do? Is this the lap where you go for options, or do you stay out a little bit longer?
I'd stay out. It still looks a bit wet.
It's hammer time 44 out of the pits on the option tyres as well.
Okay,
Temps in,
in the
temps in.
pits. He's thinking it's time for option tyres, I think. Or are we going to see another set of intermediates? It's options. There we go, that's the biggest gamble he's done. Maranello into P2, but he's still on the intermediate tyres. Jamie James into P3 on the intermediate tyres. Tempfear just coming out the pit lane, and he's going to be miles in front of GT5 King, who GT5 King just pitted now, and Overdyke just coming down the start-finish straight. And DP is so far back, he's still in the stadium section.
And Tempfear went in the pits. Do you think you've seen Joel Finn ahead of them and thought, right, we're going to get stuck in traffic, I'm pitting now,
Well,
and then...
I think it could be a lap too early. I think it could just be a lap too early for Tempfear, but we're about to find out. Is he trying to test whether Bartman has got the balls to stay out? What do you think, Ray?
I don't know if Batman will stay out, and
I mean, if I were Batman,
he's
in.
He's in.
He's definitely felt the pressure of Tempfear, and he's coming into the pit lane now. We're going to see Maranello's in as well.
Yep, where's
Maranello, he's going to hold up the Red Bull. I think he just did by a couple of seconds there. And is this going to give Tempfear a run? Is he going to be able to jump in front? Where is Tempfear on circuit?
He's down to turn one.
Yeah, he's jumped out in front of Bartman. I think that the move's been done. Miles in front, so that was definitely the right decision for Tempfear. The time has come for the slick tyres, and that was the correct lap to pit for Tempfear. He's timed that to perfection.
But RMS Maranello came out in front of Overdyke King. So Dom pitted just that lap or two too early.
Yeah, he pitted about 4 laps ago, did Overdyke King. That was 4 laps too early. The time has come now for the option tyres. I think, unfortunately for Overdyke King...
Oh no, it's Joe Finn getting out the way, sorry.
Yeah, unfortunately for Overdyke King, the track layout is not as helpful for generating tyre temperature as it is in China, and unfortunately in China it worked. In Mexico, unfortunately for Overdyke, it hasn't.
How much is Jamie James going to lose out? He's still out in
he's still out there. But I think he'll be losing seconds per sector. He's really struggling now, and he's in the pit lane. I think he may be side by side with his teammate once again at the pit exit.
Yep, there's Tempfear
coming around the final corner.
So yeah, Overdyke just coming out of the stadium section. And Jamie James is running down the pit lane. Where is... Yeah, Jamie James just at pit exit now. And over Maranello, he's just come out behind Maranello. Oh no. It's been a glitch, and it's just been a glitch, and he's come out behind his teammate. His teammate's been running on them options now for about 5 laps. So I think for Jamie James, he may be able to stretch these for 13 laps. If he can, his team will be... we do know that Jamie James does like to sometimes run long on tyres. If those in front of him, if he thinks that they're going to pit again, Jamie James could be in the pound seat. I think that's all Jamie James can hope for now.
I'm just going down order, and they're pretty evenly spread out. Front row racing DP down in 7. He's got GT5 King in 6 in front of him. Who's got Money, who's a lap car in front of them, so Money could help this play into front row racing DP's hand. Is he getting out the way? He's getting out the way now, and that's him released GT5 King and front row racing DP. And DP, what's going on with DP? He doesn't seem to have the pace.
No, he is clearly. I think he's I don't know if he. I don't know how much practice he's put in. Maybe he's just not feeling that this is his circuit. I mean, we do know that drivers have bogey circuits, certain circuits that they don't get on with.
I know DP on the Inter, poor, just a poor stint on the Inters, but on the options he seems to be improving.
I think he's unfortunately been shown the way by his younger, not inexperienced, but lesser experienced teammate who's currently running in P3, which is fantastic for Marussia. Got a driver now running in front of both Ferraris, and that'd have been unthinkable in the opening laps.
Yeah, and as DP's getting a wee bit closer to GT5 King, do you think he'll just be following him for a couple of laps, saving his fuel, and then just pound?
I think he'll be, as soon as he feels confident and feels like he's in the right mood to go for a move, he'll go for it. But Maranello sets the fastest lap, so Maranello, could we see him coming through and taking this win? But I think what we're going to see is Jamie James getting past Overdyking pretty soon, because Overdyking's on 5 lap older option tyres. Jamie James's tyres are 5 laps younger.
Got from a racing DP coming up to the back of GT5 King down a start-finish straight.
Yeah, it's. I think this is time for a move. He can't hang about, and DP's got the wing wide open, but he's going to the outside. Is he trying to get GT5 King out of position? Or is he going to try it round the outside? Here we go, round the outside. GT5 King isn't giving up on it though. I think the unfortunate thing with going round the outside is you give a decent run to the opposing driver, but DP, luckily for him, DRS is also activated on that straight, so that kept him in front of GT5 King there.
And it seemed he lost a wee bit. His back end seems to be twitching out.
And here we go. I think the move is going to happen soon between the Ferrari boys running in P4 and 5. I think Jamie James is going to be either asking to get past, or I don't think he'll be asking. Overdyking's lost it on the curb. I think that was exactly what Jamie James wanted. And Overdyking, is he going to be fighting this back? He's back in the slipstream, but I think he knows that them tyres are dead. And unfortunately, that strategy of going for them tyres, it worked in China, but it completely backfired for Overdyking here in Russia. In Mexico. I'm thinking too much of real life F1.
GT5 King's right on the back of front racing DP.
Oh, this is a three-way battle for GT5 King, Dan Evs and DP. Dan Evs up the inside. Is he going to get past GT5 King? Yes, he is. Is he going to get a run on DP? He's up the inside. Is he going to get 2 cars in 2 corners? Here comes Dan Evs. DP trying it on the outside. And Dan Evs, his season's not been one to shout about. But are we going to see some epic racecraft here from Dan Evs? We need to see something from this guy. We know he's got tons and tons of speed, but he's losing out in this fast section now.
Yeah, I just clicked onto that, sorry. I just clicked onto that just as we got to turn 3. And do you think Dan Evs will be pushing DP down this? Well, hopefully not pushing him down
Dan
the...
Evs has got good straight line speed and good traction, but unfortunately in that middle sector where there's a lot of high speed corners, he's unfortunately, I don't think he's set up his car correctly.
No. He seems to have lost time. He's in his slipstream. He'll have DRS. He's getting
anything,
close.
I think the next move that's going to happen with 9 laps left to go is Bartman. I think he was keeping in touch with Tempfear, but he's just dropped back a few tenths per lap, and he's falling back into the hands of Maranello. And we know Maranello's got heaps of speed.
We've got 9 laps to go. These guys have been on these options for quite quite a few laps. Oh, DP big sideways. Do you think?
Oh, Maranello is eyeing up the move now on Batman. I think if the move's going to happen, it's going to happen this lap. And here we go. I think this is going to be a breeze pass. I think Batman's, unfortunately, straight line speed's not been something to shout about. His traction has, though. Is he going to be able to regain the place on traction? Maranello up the inside into turn 1, and Batman once again got brilliant traction, but he's used it at the wrong place, and he's completely screwed himself over there in turn 3.
Dom's just leaving the pits on the option tyres.
Right, okay, so Overdyking is going for, he's the first one to stop for slick tyres, and he's the first one to stop for the second set of slick tyres. We do know
DP in the pits option tyres as well.
Right, so we do know that these front runners, they may possibly have to stop again, but I think Jamie James, he knows if he's got any chance of possibly trying to win this race, he's going to have to run long, as we've got yellow flags in the final sector.
Dan Evans has jumped DP in the pits. Or did they get past? I can't remember.
No, he didn't get past on the circuit, so yeah, he's DP's completely lost out there, and Dan Evans has shown him the way to do it, and we do know that the undercut of this circuit is absolutely massive.
No, they've been in at the same time, so DP's been sat there longer.
Tempfier's in the pit for a set of options along with Maranello. So they are pitting again. Jamie James doing exactly what I said, he's running long. How big is that gap? I will count it. It's 9 seconds. I don't know if Tempfier's gonna be able to pull this in, as Jamie James got enough tyre wear. Jamie James was the last one to stop for slick tyres. He's got 9 seconds with 7 laps to go, as Tempfier got this. If anything, Maranello, to be fair, Maranello's probably been the quickest guy on circuit, as we've seen in the USA as well. He could also be in for the win here. I think Jamie James, if he's the only way he can fight for a win now is by staying out. If he pits, he knows he probably won't even end up on the podium.
But I don't think his tyres will make it to the end.
Batman, he's coming into the pits, race leader in. Cool, just made it into the pit lane there.
And you've got...
Oh, Jamie James is in. Yeah, he's not staying out.
Tempfier's just coming round
yeah, Tempfier's going to have an easy lead. Maranello, I think he's also going to be able to probably jump Batman here. Where is... Oh no, we've got Maranello. He's still running intermediate tyres. I completely forgot about that.
Batman's on the prime.
So Jamie James... Where is Jamie James?
He's coming out of the pit exit. He's got option tyres on.
Batman's on the primes with 6 laps to go.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's the right way to go, Batman. I think he may have shot himself in the foot running primes. Tempfier is miles ahead now, in front of Batman.
RMS Maranello coming out on the pits on new option tyres.
And DP, is he going for a move on Dan Evans down into turn 1? I think this is going to be a breeze pass now for DP. That was an easy pickings there. Is Dan Evans going to be able to fight it back around the outside? Oh, that was so close, and Dan Evans has lost out. Dan Evans completely lost out there. Tried it round the outside, but always when you try to move around the outside, you are playing dare with your opposition, and it's whether they're feeling in a kind mood and they're going to leave you some space, or whether they're feeling a touch disgruntled and think, you know what, I'm going to run you out of space because I've got the racing line. That's the only time when the racing line actually you have any right of way, is when somebody's trying to overtake you on the outside. If they're still behind you, you're at discretion if you're in front, whereas if they're side by side with you, you've got to leave a car's width.
As long as their front wing isn't at your rear tyres. We've got Jamie James in third, Batman in second, but Batman's on the prime tyres, Jamie James in the options, and he's only about 2 seconds behind.
Yeah, Jamie James, I think this move's going to be pretty easy for him, seeing as the delta time between these tyres is about 1.5 seconds, so Batman might even find himself under attack from Overdyking by the end of this race. It could be a Mercedes 1 and a double Ferrari podium, which would be an absolute turnaround after what was happening in the opening laps, and it all went skew-whiff for Ferrari. I think Batman has completely shot himself in the foot going for the prime tyres.
Do you think he just never set the tyres with the pit wall and they've just went, right, okay, we'll just give you primes, or...
Quite possibly, but, you know, I've seen stranger things in the past, people going for tyres that completely the commentators don't understand why they've gone for that, and then it ends up being a masterstroke, a bit like Overdyking King China when he was going for the option tyre and it was raining. We were all going, oh, he's made a huge mistake, and he ended up winning by a huge margin because he knew exactly what them tyres were going to do. Unfortunately, it hasn't worked out for him this time round in Mexico, but if he can close in as fast as Jamie James is closing in on the back of Batman, I think we could see possibly Overdyking on the podium.
Adam, any word from the engineers on live broadcast?
No, not at the moment. It's just you've got the viewers enjoying the race at the moment, that's all.
Do we, I know we're getting into the business end of this race now as Batman gets under attack from Jamie James, but did we have a question of the day, Ray? Or was that not on the agenda today?
Do you know what? I never even thought of it. I've been at work all day, so I never even thought of it.
Well, I think Jamie James is going to make the move now. I think the question has to be, has Overdyking got enough grip? Oh, Batman squeezing Jamie James. Jamie James made it through and said, I'm in front now, thank you, and I'll squeeze you back. And he's back in, and Jamie James made that move. I think Overdyking, I don't think he's got enough grip to actually get after Batman.
He seems to have dropped back off them.
Yeah, he's definitely struggling. We did see when he was leading the race that he wasn't able to pull a gap on any of the other drivers, so it could possibly be that his setup's just not giving him enough grip to get around these corners.
And quickly go through the order. So first place you've got 10th Fear, second Jamie James 10 seconds behind. Then your third place you've got Batman, who is only 1.1 second behind Jamie James, so we could see a DRS overtake coming down.
Yeah, we could, but I think Batman, unfortunately, as good as his traction is, with them prime tyres, it's squirming around. I think if it's going to be an overtake, it's going to have to be a Dan Dare on the brakes. He's got the DRS open. Is this going to be enough? We know that Red Bull's not got a lot of straight line speed, but it's in the slipstream. Jamie James has gone defensive.
Flying down
Here
there.
we go. It's where's that speed come from? Oh, Jamie James, he's absolutely as flabbergasted as I am, I'm sure, but he's Jamie James, has he now got the DRS? Yes, he has. He's going. Oh, Batman is completely making that Red Bull as wide as possible. But yeah, is this the moment? As Batman, once again, has he pulled a masterstroke? Are the options dying as them primes are coming into their own?
It could be.
I think we will. I don't think we're going to see the last of Jamie James. I think it's going to be role reversal at the end of this lap.
Yeah, it's just that DRS, isn't it? It's just helping it so much ease compared to when they had no DRS.
Yeah, Jamie James so close now. I think it's all about who gets DRS on the last lap. who's going to end up in P2 because he's too close to call.
So Jamie James is going to have it here on 35.
Yeah.
Batman's going to have it in the last.
I think Jamie James needs to get past Batman, pull a gap, and make sure that Batman doesn't get DRS. Because once he gets DRS, it's just too easy on that long main start finish straight. And Batman's backing on traction. Jamie James going defensive. Batman is going for it. I think he's going to go have a look up the inside here. Jamie James giving him a car's width, but that's all he's giving. He's giving him a car's width and a tap and a slap to say, no, you're not coming through. That's the driving equivalent of a slap in the face from Jamie James.
Yeah, they'll continue. 3rd place Batman, 4th place Overdye King, 5th place RMS Maranello, 6th place Front Row Racing DP's on holiday. 7th place GT5 King.
Having a little look on GT5 King. Apologies to break away, but this is probably the last battle we're going to see before the final lap. But Dan Eves is chewing at the back of GT5 King. Is he going to be able to chew them rear tyres up and get past? Yeah, in this fast section, I think Dan Eves is slightly losing out. I think he's probably running less aeros, which is probably helping him on the straights, but killing him in that middle sector. Yeah, he's clearly not running as much aero as GT5 King as Mornay. Unfortunately, we've lost him from this race. 1 lap left to go, I think, a lap and a half. As GT5 King, is he going to get minced? Is he going to get minced by Dan Eves on the straight? We know that Mercedes-Benz is a bullet in a straight line, but it's not very helpful in the corners. Dan Eves needs to make this move. Oh, banging wheels with GT5 King up the inside, locking the front left. As GT5 King, has he got the run now? I think he has.
Coming into the stadium section.
Okay, I'll get on to him.
Okay, 1 second as GT5 King. Dan Eves has got the straight line speed to hold GT5 King off, but now GT5 King's got the downforce.
Yep, and as 10th Fear's coming over.
Yeah, last corner. Apologies, we've lost the race winner, but 10th Fear, what an absolutely brilliant drive as Jamie James come round the final corner to claim P2, and Batman has come round to claim P3. An unfortunate drive there for Overdye King. At one point he looked like he possibly could have won that, but 10th Fear, well done, my man. You have just won and pulled maximum points as you could possibly hope over DP. When he's had a bad day, you've pulled the points out as DP comes round the final corner to finish in P6. And Dan Eves did manage to make that move on GT5 King, and he managed to hold it as they go over the line. That was a move that was always brewing, and unfortunately for 10th Fear, we missed that one, unfortunately.
Yep, it's hammer time. He's in 9th place. He's just coming over the line. Well, last corner, sorry. Now he's coming over the line.
Yeah, so that's P9.
Yes. And we're just waiting Yasin finishing, and then we'll get confirmation, because we never talked about penalties or anything.
Oh no, there's too much going on there.
Yeah. So as we watch and wait and see.
Oh, both Ferrari boys, I think that means Batman's had a penalty and both Ferraris on the podium. Arriva Bene, he's crying. He's crying with ultimate joy there for both Ferrari drivers. And 10th Fear's come away with the win. Well, who'd have called that? I think Ray did. I think Ray said 10th Fear's my man. I said Jamie James. It wasn't bad for P2, but there we go. What a fantastic Mexican Grand Prix.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. And here's your standings for
Jamie James, the only one without penalties.
And this is before stewarding inquiries and that. So 1st place 10th Fear, 2nd place Jamie James, 3rd Overdye King, 4th Batman, 5th RMS Maranello 6, Front Row Racing DP 7, GT5 King 8, Danny Evs 9th, It's Hammer Time 10th, Joe Finn 11th, Jason 12th, Money, and I think we lost Console and Killer Corkin, I believe.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yep, so if you would like to invite the top 3 in, and you can ask them the podium questions. You're good at it, I'm not.
Don't put yourself down, Ray, you're bloody good. Yeah, let's get this sorted.
Does we just wait for the drivers to come in? So Adam, how would you sum up that race?
I'd sum it up as the day maybe Front Row Racing DP let 10th Fear have the title.
Can you suggest Jerry James to me? Because unfortunately I don't seem to have him on my friends list, but I thought he did. But he's not there.
Okay, Adam,
Apologies, viewers.
Adam, you able to do that? So I don't give the viewers a blue screen.
So you've just thanked me for my loyalty and then sacked me. Well, how am I supposed to look at it? I refused to sign that petition earlier. Why are you surprised?
Oh, and sorry, and viewers, if you put Adam, any race questions you want to ask the drivers, and drivers, if you're watching the live stream and you want to give Adam your post-race comments, you can do by Adam. Sorry Adam, what was that?
Yeah, I can't get invite Jamie James in.
Right, I think I've managed to send it, yeah, he's got the invite, that's good.
James didn't get an invite, guys?
Yeah, he's just got one now.
Can we help you?
We'll just wait for him to come in and then get these questions going. And but what a fantastic race! What a brilliant bit of wheel to wheel, constantly going on, and fortunes peaked and troughed throughout that race. It was fantastic, but we're still waiting for 10th Fear. He hasn't come into the race leader. Hasn't come in yet. Got both Ferrari boys in here.
Yeah, I think the top 4 will be asking for more sponsor money after being on the TV so long.
Definitely. Let's get another invite sent to 10th Fear, and hopefully he's in here. He's here now. There we go. Brilliant. So, question number 1 goes to race leader, which was 10th Fear. How are you feeling? Are you here, Temp?
Hello.
Hello. Also, make sure that it's all set to share, which I'm sure it is. But yeah, fantastic 10th Fear, I've got to say. What a brilliant race, and how are you feeling now, coming away with that win?
Well, I saw I was about lap 32. I heard my teammate was having a good old battle with DP, so I'm like, what position is he in? 6th. That's
yeah,
good.
it was fun down the field, but that was towards the latter end of the race. But throughout the first 2/3 of that race, it was an epic four-car battle. How were your feelings going into that first pit stop? And I think you managed to jump a few people there.
Oh yeah, first of all, I think my car's underweight. The amount I got hit that race, like damaged it. That was realistic. I have no flaw whatsoever. But
yeah,
I knew that it was coming up to the pit stops. And I constantly kept seeing what the weather was to see if I could do 2 sets of inters and hold it out, or if it's going to be 3. But I thought, I'm losing time behind them. I know if I've got clean air I can pull away. So I thought, I'm undercutting them. I was just hoping none of them pitted, and I did. But Jerry James did by jumping in the pits. So,
yeah.
At that point I was like, right.
Such a shit game.
Yeah. It's unfortunate when that happens, but throughout that, with the any point, I didn't feel like there were any point up until maybe the last few laps when you were able to actually stretch your legs on them final set of slick tyres to pull away from Bartman. But Bartman had gone for a weird strategy in the final stint. He'd gone for a set of primes, which completely befuddled us in the commentary box. We didn't understand that. But he pulled away at that point.
I was just having a nice Sunday drive again, like Silverstone.
Well, just bragging rights there goes to Temp Fear. Well, what a fantastic race! I'm sure we'll come back to you, Temp. Moving on to P2, which was my pick from the start of the race, goes to Jamie James. Unfortunately, Temp, I picked Jamie James at the start of this race, but unfortunately my bet's not gone through. Ray picked Temp Fear for the win, and unfortunately he's walking away with £1 this week.
What he's doing, yeah. Ray knows what he's doing. Ray, I'm coming around yours.
I've got them in the fridge.
So we'll move on for P2. How is Jamie James feeling in the Ferrari garage?
I feel like I could have taken that attempt if a certain Williams driver hadn't have gotten out of the way.
Well, it was so unfortunate. I think it happened to both Ferrari drivers. I will find out from Overdijking in a minute. I think you both got held up in the pit lane, and it completely screwed you from at one moment.
Not talking about that.
Well, tell me what you're talking about then.
I'm talking about Jason not getting out of the way around the first 3 corners, and me hitting him up at the arse and spinning me out.
Oh, we did see back markers coming through, and we did notice in the background you going off circuit. But at the moment, I didn't see what happened there. But yeah, you just caught him in that middle sector, was it?
No, first 3 corners.
First 3 corners, right? Yeah, it's very. Yeah, that's not nice through there, 90-degree corners.
Well, it was a good race. I mean, well done to Temp. I think, yeah. I mean, I messed up on the pit strategy. I think I went a couple of laps too long. Lost a lot of time to them. I don't know what happened to Maranello. Pitted again.
He put Inters on, I believe.
I think he.
It would have put you on Inters. So he pitted behind me on the last stint. And then he all of a sudden he dropped off. I was like, where's he gone? He's put Inters on. So he had to pit again the lap after.
He was looking good until he screwed up with the tyres there. So Jamie James, any final thoughts on P2? Was any other interesting bits through that race?
No, not really. I said to Adam before the race, pre-race comments, to avoid penalties and just go see how you get on after the first corner. First corner was clean, and then obviously the rest I just stayed steady as I could, and yeah, I'm more than happy with second, and I'm more than happy we've got a double Ferrari podium. Yeah, and moving on to the final podium position, which is Overdijking in the Ferrari. What a race throughout that. I know it will feel gutting from having the lead at the start of that race and then it's slipping from your fingers. How are you feeling though, coming away with a double Ferrari podium Overdijking, beating the man of Marussia's today and clawing in on that constructor's title?
Yeah, I think a double podium for Ferrari is definitely satisfying. Quali was a bit, tensional. There was a lot of tension in the qualifying, a lot of tension. I went out on the primes because I always like to do a prime run first. And then as soon as I gone out, I saw the range, so I knew, I would have been, I wouldn't be on pole. So, I think if I would have been on the options, I would have put it on pole. But had a good start regardless. Had a good start for once because I normally get bad starts. So straight up into P2 after the start, and then I got past Bartman, and I had the feeling that I could pull away and steer off into the sunset, but Bartman kept pulling me back on that straight for about 3/4 tenths, so I couldn't really break away. And then I saw Temp and James pitting in lap 11, and I was like, yeah, I should have done that because I knew obviously that they were going to undercut me.
Were there any discussions?
Bartman jumped me as well in the pits, and from there on I'm looking P1 to P4. So.
Were there any discussions over team radio on who was going to pit first, or who was going to do what, or did you just come around the final corner and then Jamie James were like, I'm in, and you were like, oh no?
No. I actually said to him, yeah, you can pit lap 11, mate. I'll pit lap 12, but I wouldn't. Yeah. Well, at the time they went in, and seeing how close they were behind me, I knew they were going to undercut me, but I didn't expect the undercut to be that big.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah, that's the
then I
question,
was keeping pace to the guys in front, and then I went for the. I saw DRS enabled, and I was like, fuck it, I'll just gamble it. And whereas James went
Language, guys, language.
Yeah, well, it worked for you. I said plenty of times in commentary, it worked for you a treat in China when you went to them option tyres, and I did say that you were like the master of tyre selection in changing conditions. But I just think this circuit doesn't heat the tyres up enough for you to try and do that, unfortunately.
As quick as I expected, so I saw enabled, and I was like, all right, I'll pit in.
Yeah.
And I should have pitted like 2 or 3 laps later, and James should have pitted 2 or 3 laps earlier.
Well, I've got to say though, what a fantastic comeback. At one point, you were looking far off in the distance, about 10 laps from the end, and I was saying, oh, I wonder what's going on with Overdijking. His pace is seeming to drop off, but to come away with P3, I think you've got to be quite happy with that. I know it's going to be gutting knowing that you were leading the race, but not 1-2, but both Ferraris on the podium, absolutely epic, and pulling in once again over them Marussias. So running back to 10th Fear, any thoughts on the title? Is that title in grasp now over DP and the chasing pack? It's in grasp.
If I win, I think I've got about to score him now. By how much was I ahead of him before this race?
I'm not too sure. I will have to ask Ray for that. I think he's got the stats before race.
Tim, just keep asking the questions and I'll try and figure it out.
What was it before the start of the race? What was the gap between DP and 10th Fear?
10th Fear was in 249 and front row racing DP was in 231.
Right, okay, so 18. So
I'm 35 points in the lead if it stands.
Yeah. If it stands, we never know. But I've got to say, what a fantastic race! When you watch this race back, lads, it is an absolute cracker of wheel-to-wheel racing. I know that certain incidents happened which were out of people's hands, such as the one with Jamie James, but what a fantastic race and display you lads put on tonight. Is there? We didn't actually have a question of the day, so is there any questions you want to ask each other?
Dom, did you see me on lap 1?
What do you mean?
Turn 4. You just kept coming right and right and right on that little straight.
Oh yeah, sorry, but was ahead, so I left enough room. I left the car quick, so it's all right.
All I'm saying is, on my footage, you might see something different. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh yeah, you can watch my footage, mate. I've got all the proof that I didn't cut you up or anything.
Well, leaving the race on a tense note there.
Hold the handbags away, boys.
Well, is there any news from the viewers, Ray?
I'm not on viewers tonight. It's Edam Hills. Any questions?
We've got some comments from a racing DP. Said he gambled on a dry start, low front wing, and that was basically race over. Whether it was a good race was a shocker.
Any question for the top 3, Adam?
No questions coming in yet. Just got drivers giving their points of views. Got Hammer Time 44 saying Bartman on the last stint didn't select primes for his last stint. He selected options, got put on primes.
Very odd. But it did give a decent battle to watch between Jamie James and Batman, and unfortunately for his sake, it gifted with them penalties. It gifted Overdijking 3rd place. So what a cracking race, and all I can say is well done to all. Well earned, gifted, whichever way you want to see it. What a fantastic race, and I just want to thank all the drivers, especially the podium drivers, for giving us an absolute spectacle to watch.
Yeah, I'll just go back to Adam just to see if any more questions have come in. If not, we'll see.
Yeah, we got GT5 King asking Dom, you got a song to sing for Rain?
I've got a song to sing for Ray.
Apparently, yeah.
I thought you were going to do a rain. I thought you did a rain dance. That's why we had rain. Don't know how much you like it when it's a wet race.
You got from a racing DP saying well done on the win, Temp. Probably the title decided there. Do you agree with that, Temp?
Now he's doing that to give me a false image here. I know what DP's like. He'll come back and win next week. Watch. But, like I said, it's up for grabs now. It's 90% neither. One hand's on it.
Yeah, but Dave's got my bank number, so it's alright. We'll sort it out for the next couple of races.
Oh, yeah.
Anything else, Adam?
No, that's it.
Okay.
Right, I think that's it, Ray. You want to wrap this up now?
Yeah, well, thank you.
It was a good race, guys.
Aye, that's enough.
Thank you all for watching, and
thank you guys for the great racing, the great viewing that you gave all the viewers. We will see you next week if you would like to leave the chat party, or else James will just kick you.
Okay, please.
Yeah, guys, well done, Temp. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Right. And Adam, any more driver comments?
Just GT5 King saying well done to the top three. Brilliant battle with DP and Dan Evs. Quite a few people just saying unlucky DP. It was probably not the best race for him considering the title race with Temp Fear. But it looks like Temp Fear may, like I said, I think Temp Fear may have got the title, and that's what DP thinks too.
What do you think, James?
I think something as simple as a disconnection can change this title. Temp Fear gets a disconnection leading the next race, and DP's right behind him. DP's straight back in with a chance. If he gets 25 points over Temp Fear, we'll be saying at the end of next week, what an ultimate save for DP.
Yeah, I just thought it was great racing, and it was hard to get away from the top 4 or 5 cars. When we did,
Yeah,
we were seeing.
it was too close for them.
Yeah, so sorry, viewers.
I think it was a good advert for the league though, to see different races in the limelight and putting on a decent show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think a huge amount of clean racing there was
Oh yeah.
absolutely fantastic for these up and coming lads that are coming through the junior front row racing leagues to make their way up to the big time, showing what the standards are and how to go racing.
Yeah, and on that note, next week, World Championship will be at Brazil, I believe. Yes, it is. So they'll be at Brazil, but next on Front Row Racing YouTube channel will be World Series tomorrow here at Mexico again. So we'll have the World Series racing round here, and it should be an even good race as well. I would hope so. If you like what you're seeing, subscribe, like us on Facebook. If you want to get into F1 racing or Project Cars racing, message the page on Facebook. You'll find us at Front Row Racing on Facebook. We've got a picture of the Silverstone circuit, or a corner of it. I'm an admin, I'm supposed to know this, but I don't. Like it. Messages if you want to get into racing, and we'll let you know the details, and we shall see you next is tomorrow, sorry, not next week, tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow, 7:30 for the World Series at Mexico. And I would like to thank my co-commentator JAMES-HULKENBERG, and I'd like to thank my pit lane. Well, I'm saying co-commentator, James, you spoke most of the way through that.
Well, I've lost my voice, but yeah, and well done to you, and also well done to Nightwalker down the pit lane. That was absolutely brilliant and fantastic.
Yeah. So I will see you all tomorrow. Good night from Front Row Racing.